Now, definitely, it's all about the mid lane play. Kurtz needs to be able to land, use the feather airstrike to zone out the rest of the enemies, whereas RSG Singapore needs to deny the feather airstrike.
So, here we have, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 between FLSG and RSG Singapore. Definitely, both teams does seem as though they have a pretty strong composition and nothing too out of the ordinary. But we start things off with a very aggressive front coming in from Flash, pushing Roy all the way back home within the first minute.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, right? The Kalia more than happy to take up a fight like that, and every time when he's landing down a punch, a Kalia heals Kurtz as well. That's what's allowed Kurtz to be a little bit more aggressive.
And at this point, we are a few seconds away until the first turtle eventually spawns up. But looking at the jungle rotation, it doesn't seem like we're looking at anything too crazy. However, RSG's Hanzo is a slight tad bit slower. Okay, maybe it's not say slower. It's just that the Suyo decided to invade first before going into the Beetle.
Yeah, but don't forget, Bray as the Hanzo basically has a movement speed boost when he goes to the ultimate, right? So he can immediately go over to the turtle. He can be right here ganking at the top lane.
Yep, so Bray immediately went over to the range of creep and of course consuming it, saving so much time. As we do have a little bit more of aggression from the side of Team Flash where they are looking more towards the northern part of the map as they prepare themselves for the turtle. But at this point, it seems like priorities is going to be more on RSG Singapore's side.
Definitely, right? Level for power spikes from the side of RSG is a lot stronger. The AOG, the ultimate coming out from the Juicin. Of course, you got Hanzo's ultimate. Yes, technically speaking, same could be said on the side of FLSG, right? If they choose to brawl, don't forget, Ken on the high lows, the Glorious Pathway is more like a utility. It's allow repositioning. FLSG is limited in terms of the damage department.
None of these teams seems to want to hold on to the turtle for now, but at least Jay, Roy, and Closer, they are putting themselves just right around the turtle's pit, looking for the opportunity to jump. And speaking of jumping, Team Flash, they're gonna make the first moves over to the turtle. 4 members around the turtle for the side of Team Flash, while RSG, they're looking for something. As the Crimson Beacon coming from Roy, just gonna be touching right onto the Kalia, but Kalia immediately goes in for the Tsunami Slam. Jay with the way of the Dragon on JPL, but doesn't seem like they will be able to do too much as RSG have suffered quite a bit of damage already. Jay and Closer fortunately got themselves back, while the Pinnacle Ninja dealt a significant amount of damage, but not quite enough to do anything else from this point onwards. With 2% down from the side of RSG Singapore, Team Flash now have the priority over the turtle and should be able to take this with no problem.
Yeah, good call coming out from Ken right there, the Law and Order.
And immediately, now Bray finds himself in the top spot, but at least Roy... Wait, Roy, what are you doing? Oh!
Oh no. That's an interesting interaction.
Yeah, but I didn't think that Roy will want to throw them closer over to a almost dead Bray. But at this point, with our Dragon connecting down over to his side, Hades pushing him slightly away. This is a Brawl Fest all the way up north. Well, now more and more bodies are dropping from the side of RSGSG.
It's a very long sequence, Abstract, but let me break it down to you. RSG Singapore, Bray is actually 1 level ahead of Hades, and when FLSG decide to go on a full-on brawl, the AOG coming out from the side Closer denies the Feather Airstrike. Remember, this is a game about Feather Airstrike, whether we can deny Kurtz of having a Feather Airstrike or allow Kurtz to have his Feather Airstrike. But then after that, when the fight elongated a little bit too long, it hurt Bray even more, and now because of that, Hades got 2 kills, and Bray is down. Now down 1 death, and they're almost the same level.
So in terms of economy, right, the economical sense for Flash is definitely looking a little bit more sleek, with 1,000 gold to their name. The turtle will take some time before it will eventually pop up, but I mostly just want to understand what is going to be the case for both of these two teams. So early game, who's got the advantage?
I think both actually has the same advantage, but if you scale all the way up to the later parts of the game...
Oh, wait, that blind jump of the title strike from JPL actually found Jay. Well, now we do have a red carpet coming from Ken, but he's just going to be focusing on Roy. While the Pinnacle Ninja from Bray puts himself right from purple buff all the way down, deep in, dealt a significant amount of damage over the Kurt, but not that it's going to do anything at this point.
Yeah, but right now it's just a brawl fest, right? Like, yes, technically speaking, Jay is a roamer, you sacrifice that, but you're giving kills over the side of FLSG.
So now you can see the JPL is preparing himself, putting, of course, the passive right in front of the Turtle's pit. Flash want to do whatever that it takes in order to get themselves a team-wide EXP buff, as well as economy, right? Gold all the way through. All 5 members from Team Flash congregating together while Bray goes in with the Pinnacle Ninja, but unfortunately unable to steal the turtle away. RSG understands that, and they have no reason to continue this fight.
Yeah, right now, definitely the snowball. Oh, man, as I try to say that.
Ooh, that's not great. A non-committal play from Bray, only to have the gunslinger right in the face of Bray.
Yep, if you take a look at the gold lead right here, swinging in the favor of Flash. We talk about both these two teams has equal amount of snowball at level 4, but hold on, it's a 1v1 up top.
I don't think that that's going to go anywhere for Hades. He's going to be fine unless, of course, Jay and Roy comes in with a quick S1 and S3, gets him fine and dandy.
Yep.
Safe back home.
Sasuke is really fast.
Sasuke is fast.
Yeah, top side already cracked open, bot side for the side of RSG. Singapore is cracked open. It's a push and pull for both these two teams. In terms of gold lead wise, it's still 2k in the favor of Flash SG. But Flash SG, even though yes, they have a good team fight composition, RSG Singapore, once you hit the late game, once Bray starts to pick up his items, he can do more than just kill. He can basically use his Ghost Swarm to steal lords away and steal objectives away.
You know, at this point, we have a lot of information that we could have gotten from the side of Team Flash because of the fact that they have a Cho. This is a very explosive lineup that you can see from the side of Team Flash. They have very non-committal things that they can do. Even though we're looking at a Kalia that seems also committal, but her ultimate eventually brings you back to the team. So even if you just jump into the Title Strike, the Tsunami Slam brings you right back in and allows you to be in a pretty comfortable position.
Top side, Vanek will be able to secure that one, but teamfight it shows.
Immediately, Jay finds himself taken down, can take the last hit off of that. Well, in the meantime, CS is just going to be zooming all around onto the Zaman Force and joins into the fray. It is going to be Bray. He's looking for a kill on the Ken, but he's currently taking a little bit too much pot shot. But unfortunately, Bray, his real body is just a little bit too close onto the Z-Brush. As such, Hades found them, or rather found him, and took him down.
Yeah, the real body's a little bit too close on the side of RSG, but take a look. You can start to see how Bray is trying to use his own fake body to burn the Tsunami Slam coming up on the side of Flash SG. But then again, the snowball once again is swinging in the favor of Flash SG right now. They're starting to encroach RSG side of the jungle. RSG Singapore needs to do something.
So now we're gonna have to identify a few things. Do you want to use the Pinnacle Ninja as one of the main damage dealer, or do you want it to use as a peeling mechanism? If you want to use it as peel, you need to look for alternative damage sources. And I think that just having CS as an alternative damage source is not quite enough in this early game.
Yeah, definitely, right? I think RSG Singapore, if they want to play, oh my goodness, Vanix crank open bot already. And only like around 8 minutes, the side wave RSG is losing the countrysides.
I don't exactly know what RSG can do at this point in time. We've got a Pinnacle Ninja coming in. Just going to be slicing and dicing on the Ken, but this guy is the front line. It's not easy going to be bringing him down because he's got his carpet as well as a revitalize as such. Jared's going to find himself taken down by the hands of Vanix. We do have the Zaman Force just going to be dropped as such. They will be able to bring down and whittle down the front lines.
Yeah, Jay giving his body right there, but then again, you can start to see Flash SG, they have a plan in mind, and the plan is basically trying to bait out RSG Singapore out in the open, bait the Zaman Force out, but what Flash SG likes to do is they like to commit a lot of resources in picking one person. All that resource just to put Jay into the ground.
Now, I would say that when it comes down to jungle versus jungle matchup, Bray, even though in terms of level, he seems to be relatively okay, right? Level 11 versus a level, well, 13, and now just hit level 13, Suyo. They also managed to take down the turret down the bottom lane, so that's all fine and dandy. Putting both of them is at only 1 level gap. However, I think that when it comes down to gold, that is where the problem is going to be. Bray requires a little bit more gold in order to go online, and it's a slightly more expensive assassin.
Yeah, apart from that, Hanzo is also a very greedy assassin as well. And if you start to notice, Bray is actually starting to fix the sideways, right? That's the power of a Hanzo, but I'm also interested in the items because I'm desperately looking at CS right here. He should have most of his items coming up online, right? At the very least, the corrosive side and the Holy Crystal. These are his two core items. Sorry, not corrosive side, my bad. The Stardom side. Oh my goodness, they changed the items along. Yeah, they're both sides. There's also the Feather Heaven as well. These are his two core items that are secured, but I think he needs more. The Holy Crystal is definitely something that you need. Vanix is already skipping the BOD, go straight for the Malefic Roll first.
So he does have some damage in that department. But in the meantime, we're going to be looking at the main lot fight. JPL trying to close the gap a little bit while Kanda giving some information. And he's a very tanky boy. He's not going to have a lot of problems.
Ooh.
As such, it is going to be ultimates coming in from both ways. But unfortunately, Bray, even with the Pinnacle Ninja, unable to steal the Lord away from the hands of Hades, while the rest of members from the side of Team Flash pushes the rest of RSG away.
We talk about target prioritization right there. If you see how JPL focusing on actually pulling Bray away so that he doesn't use the Ghost Bomb to try to steal the Lord away. But apart from that, Abstract, I'm thinking about RSG Singapore needs to really try to focus on the priorities. I've seen Bray try to whittle down Ken. I've seen Bray try to whittle down, you know, the likes of even JPL, right? But the main target is Kurt TZ right here.
As such, I think they're gonna have to look at a different avenue, right? Because we talked about the fact that we want to see kind of like a front to back kind of thing from RSG, but in reality, I think that there's so much more that they could do, right? You drop the Zaman Force as well as finding that we are the Dragon. You can target anyone that you want. You don't have someone that can shred down the tanky front lines with true damage. As such, it takes time to kill them. You can kill them, but it takes time. But speaking of time, it is going to be the time for the suplex onto Closer. But in the meantime, over to the side, we do have the Way of Dragon just going to be connecting onto Vanix. As such, this is going to be Pinnacle Ninja. He's going to be running his face right over the back to bring him down. Finally, Jay immediately with the Jacundo all the way back home. He's going to be fine for now. But Hades is a little bit overextended. As such, he will be taken down by the hands of CS.
Yeah, like what I mentioned, I don't like old Bray. It's maybe looking for more right here, but I don't think he has the range for that. Finally, RSG Singapore has identified targets, right? Vanix must be taken down. His stacks on the Sky Piercer is crazy. Good for Jay right there to try to shut him down in terms of locking him down. As we take a look at the replay earlier just now for that particular sequence, take a look at Jay Cam, right? Jay is the one that really sets up the fight earlier just now, allowing Bray to basically go into his ninja form to try to hunt down Vanix. At the same time, yes, Kurt TZ may be there with the feather airstrike, but once, you know, the feather airstrike finishes, Kurt TZ is just a normal Farsa. Doesn't need to wait for a lot of cooldowns to come online.
I really like the angle coming in from Jay. Manages to find Vanix. It would have been great if the positioning of Vanix was a little bit more to the northern side so that he can be kicked all the way through. But speaking of kicking, we do have a suplex instead. Roy melted down in an instant. I would like to believe that most of the damage came from Vanix.
I wasn't expecting that kind of burst. You know, you expect Roy to be able to just jump out with the ultimate, but it seems like he's not able to do so.
Yep. So, Tsunami Slams after Tsunami Slams. We are looking at quite a bit of those pick-off potentials from Team Flash, and that is a lot more clear from Team Flash. Well, for RSG, it's not exactly that clear. It feels as though their Way of the Dragon is a little bit more of a random crowd control or just a small little target. But in the meantime, the AOG coming in from closer is just going to be putting himself right in the front line. But in the meantime, Bray focuses all over to the back. He will be able to bring Hades down though, so that is going to be a great start for them. The Zaman Force coming in from the side of CS has been dropped and has been used to the fullest extent, finally pushing Team Flash away. With 20 seconds and above timer onto Team Flash, RSG can actually try to go for this Lord.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, RSG Singapore is trying to punish it, right? At the same time, they still have Bray, so they will have to try to blitz down this Lord ASAP. It's up to Team Flash to try to hold it down.
It is going to be the Tsunami Slam. That's going to be on the side of Bray. We do have the Pinnacle Ninja coming in also from the side of Bray, but he was not going to be chasing up with the rest of the members of Flash. Wants to focus onto the Lord. Bray brings it down. Realizes there's no reason to continue up to this fight because they already have Kurt TZ being staggered. But Bray, because he's a Pinnacle Ninja after all, if you're able to find a little bit more kills, that will be fine.
Yeah, we talk about the late game right here. RSG Singapore, don't forget, when the Harris picks up the Holy Crystal, which he just did, that was the major difference. That's why RSG Singapore's damage increased exponentially. But it's also good for the side of FLSG, right? Hades is there to screen Bray, but it seems like, you know, Bray started to pick up the items. Hades is unable to assassinate his Ghost Form. And now with the BOD, he's going to do a lot more damage.
Almost managing to get the pickup over to Hades, but at least the Blitz Surge allows him to get himself right out of dodge before anything chaotic happens. RSG, they now have the upper hand with the Lord onto their side. And this is a Luminous Lord. Not really a multiple charge Lord just yet, but still not, a little bit tanky, but not tanky enough. They would want to bring down all of the T2 turrets.
I feel like right now, the Flash, the snowball ended. RSG Singapore finds a way, the mistake made by the side of Flash SG earlier just now to overcommit. At the very least, they're still able to, you know, hold on to the turrets right now because they do have a Farsa and they choose to take down the Lord before the Lord actually reaches the base.
I'm not exactly sure what kind of angles RSG could be looking out for here. I think the only thing that they can work with is hoping that the Wheel Dragon lands on someone and bursts them down quick, but I think that that's kind of a tall order.
Right now it's just the Poke Fraud. Unless Jay has something interesting that he would like to say using his Cho.
Yeah,
But Bray is more than happy to pick these non-commitments.
Right onto Kurtisi, force the wings by wings as well as the feathered airstrike. I think that RSG will want to look for an opportunity here if Team Flash were to overextend themselves.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Kurtisi is a different kind of Farsa, different kind of beast. Ray is still ongoing.
Ouch! That's a Pinnacle Ninja already disappeared in an instant, and RSG realizes and knows that this is not their chance to fight. They have to reset themselves, and within the next minute or so, they have to play a little bit safe. For now, even if anyone were to go down, I think that it's still fine. They should be back in time for the Lord. But anything after 30 seconds, they need to play safe.
Yeah, earlier just now, if you notice how, even though Bray is tagging onto Kurtisi still, as a wings by wings form, still flies forward towards danger. This man knows no danger. He see an edge, he will knock into it.
It's almost like he would throw caution into the wind, but not for not for fun and not for laughs though, because he understands the risks involved, and he is able to kind of stretch his hero far enough. He does have got the blood wings, so it's not particularly too afraid of being bursted down instantaneously.
Lord will be spawning very, very soon. You can see Hades already trying to fix the wave, but don't forget, oh, hold on a second, Flex.
Immediately now, Hades is all alone, but I think that RSG and the rest of the members want to follow up on this. As such, it is going to be a Suyo down. The AOG connects onto 3. Vanix immediately flicks himself away. He's going to be safe and sound for now, but the rest of the members coming from the side of RSG just going to be going for the pickup onto Ken. That's going to be the next one on the chopping block. As such, 2 men down on such a critical moment.
RSG, that was a free Lord for them right there. It's a good play coming up from RSG Singapore. They identify and they adapt and they understand. RSG Singapore knows Team Flash's pattern. They always see Hades try to fix away by the sides. They just bomb rush for it, burst him down, and hopefully, they take even more casualty as collateral damage. And there you go, boom, a free Lord.
No more boots. Coming in for the Harith has picked up the Oracle to further cement what kind of damage and survivability this man has. A lot of shields coming in from every Chrono Dash.
Look at Bray's items, man. A BOD, a Malefic Roar.
Ooh.
With a ton of attack speed. Can shred. As long as Bray plays his cards right, man, there's nobody from the side of FLSG can survive that.
I fear for the back lines of Flash.
I'm usually the back lines. I'm scared right now.
You will feel fear even just from watching this. That's the kind of fear that Hanzo can bring onto a team. Doing the Pinnacle Ninja.
What?
Oh, that's a great burst.
But Bray can always do
this.
this.
Enough. Okay.
But Bray can always do this, and that's the power of the late game Hanzo. I think Hades overestimated his now, and once again, FLSG is forced to defend 4 against 5. Sorry, make it 4 against 6 with a Lord marching up top.
There's a huge blunder as now the Whale Dragon connects down to Ken. The AOG connect onto Ken as well, but they're going to be focusing onto the front lines while CS wants to bring Ken down as much as possible. The Wings by Wings is currently unavailable as such. Roy picks up the Katisi, brings him down, and at this point in time, RSG takes game number